Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the second video in the series of doing the brakes on the TVR Chimaera. This is probably relevant for Griffiths as well, because I think they're pretty much the same. Right, I've got the car jacked up. I've got an axle stand hidden under there on the chassis, because chassis is quite a way in, just as extra safety. And I've managed to get the wheel off and the caliper wound back. So what you need to do is undo this pin. Ironically, I thought that had a hex head inside it, but it doesn't. It's got a thread inside it for some reason. Right, anyway, that's the guide pin, or the slide pin, so that the brake caliper can move about like that. So this is a 13mm. It says in my manual that you have to hold the inside bit. So I don't know whether it means on that shoulder there, but I don't see what would come undone. So in this case, I think the manual is wrong. So that undoes. Once that's undone, you can lower this back. You can see the piston on this brake has got a funny pattern on it, and I have actually got, or bought, a special tool to wind this back in, because you need to line up one of these indents with the brake pads. You can, I don't know if you can see, let me take that one out. You can see on the brake pad there's a little raised piece there, which on that side fits inside that, it fits inside there on the piston, so you need to get that right. Now, if you were just doing the pads, you could just do this. You could just wind that back, take the pads out, wind the piston in, put that back up, pin back in, lube everything up, job done. But I want to replace the disc. I mean, look at the state of it. This is probably the original disc from the 1998 maybe. The discs are loose. There is no screw hole to take the thing out of, which is always rusted in. But we have to get the carrier off as well. And the design of this is awful. So, can we see it? Let's have a look. So on the back here, where my finger is, there's a hex head bolt, which is right next to essentially the suspension hub carrier thing. So good luck getting that undone. And there's one a bit lower down, which is, again, where my finger is there. So we need to get those undone. They're an 8mm Allen key. And if you've got a ball end Allen key, you can get it in there, but oh boy, are these tight. I'm hoping winding the caliper out the way will give me a bit more room to try and get these undone. I've sprayed them with penetrating oil, so I'm going to work on those, do that first, and then we can worry about the rest of it. Right, well, we've got the bottom one out. That's a bit easier to get the Allen key in, and also get something to lever it. The top one, I also use brute force and ignorance by heating it up with a blow lamp. Thankfully, because the caliper's out the way, there's nothing to really damage apart from the paint. So I warmed up the surround to kind of break the rusty seal, and that seems to have worked. It went with a bit of a crack. So I don't know if these have had thread lock on. I can't see any evidence of thread lock. I also can't see any evidence of any kind of copper slip on there to help me ever get it out again. So with the top one, I've actually cut the head of my Allen key down, this 8mm, because I've got plenty of these, to be able to get it in the top a bit easier. So we'll try and take that top one out again. I might have to resort to the blow lamp again. Right, so that did the trick. I used a bit of an extension on this and it went almost straight away. I still had to use the ball end from a long way away to undo it, because whoever decided to use hex head, so cap heads here, well, what a stupid idea. You know, you should have had a hex head bolt on there so you could at least get a spanner on it. But, you know, TVR. So this is now loose and can come off. I'll get the new one. We can clean all the face up. Probably put some copper slip on that to help get it off the next time, and then we can look at sorting out the caliper and the pads and stuff like that. Okay, so the old disc is gone. Here's the new one. I've cleaned up the face, put a bit of copper slip on there for the next time someone has to do it, which will probably be me. And there goes a new disc. So now we just have to sort out cleaning all the carrier and the brake caliper, clean all the surfaces where the new pads, these are the tiny new pads, so all of these kind of surfaces where they contact the metalwork, I've got some brake grease I can put on those, and then we just need to look at winding in the caliper to actually be able to get it back on again. Right, carrier's back on. I've tightened the bolts up. I don't know what the torque is, so I've just done them effing tight. Got some brake grease where the pads are going to fit. I'm going to put the pads on in a second. I've cleaned up these surfaces best I can. I'm now going to try and wind back the piston, and then we can try putting the caliper on and sticking the guide pins in. I've cleaned the guide pins up. I'll put some grease on them before I put them back in, and there is a bolt in the end. Here, I'll show you. Let me just put it in. So it's actually like that, so that bolt at the end comes out. So doing them up, I'll probably have to get a spanner on these surfaces here to tighten them onto there, and then the pin slides in and out on the caliper. But we'll have a look at that later. Right, got the caliper back on. That was a bit strange. I bought my super tool. It's the wrong size, that'll have to go back. Didn't work anyway. And what I ended up doing, in the Bible it says you can use circlip pliers. So the piston's got 4 indents in it, and what you need to do is put these in them and then turn it clockwise. And you know, it wound in as soft as anything. So I wound the piston round 2 or 3 times, wham, straight on, no messing, even with new pads. So now we've just got to sort out the guide pins, and then we've got to pray that the handbrake cable, which is on the back here, is still adjusted correctly. If not, well, that might even be another video, because that's quite complicated. So guide pins next. Right, we're all done. To get the slide guide pins in, you need a 13mm spanner or socket on the actual bolt, and then to stop the guide pin spinning round, now it's all nicely lubed, you need a thin spanner. It's a weird size, it was like 15mm, so I don't know if it's imperial, but I haven't got one. But a normal, like, small adjustable works great. And then just tighten that up. That's just so the caliper's fastened using the guide pins to the rest of the carrier. And that's it. So, wheel back on. I'll give it a try. Try the handbrake, and then we'll see. Well, we're going to have to do the other side anyway, but I'll see if this side works. Right, we're back round the other side. I think on this side what I'll do is I'll highlight the bits that I come across after doing the first side that I kind of didn't realise were easier on the other side. So the first thing I've learnt is when you undo the bolt for the guide pin, don't take the top one out until you've loosened this bottom one. Because if you take this one out, when you try and undo this, the caliper's always trying to undo itself all the time, come off the pads. It's a pain, so loosen the top one, then loosen the bottom one and take that one out, and then take that one out, and the caliper comes off. Well, that was much easier. The 2 cap heads, because I had the shortened Allen key, a bit of a tap with a hammer and both of them crack straight away and they're off, so disc loose. So I'll swap the disc over, and then I'll start refurbing this. I think I might have to put some brake cleaner inside these guide pin housings because the grease in there is black. So we'll get all that out and clean this up as best I can. Get that refitted, then we'll play with the caliper. Right, so on this side, this is what I mean about using the circlip pliers. Can you? I don't know if you can even see it, it's so bright today. So the circlip pliers go in like that, and then you turn this clockwise. I can't do it holding the camera because it is quite stiff, so I need both hands, but you do that until this. You're trying to get rid of this shoulder into the housing so you've got enough room for the pads. But I hope that explains it. And we're done. I'm going to give this a clean, I think. So guide pin bolts are in, so you have to use the adjustable to hold the top of the guide pin, which has got a flat on it for you to be able to hold it, top and bottom. And that's it. Wheel back on, job done. Well, I've got to say the back, if anything, feels easier to do than the front. I don't know if that's because I've just done the front, so I'm used to taking guide pins out and cleaning up calipers and whatever, but winding the piston in was easier. The caliper went on much easier. There's probably not much in it, but not difficult. So if you're looking at getting a garage and paying them 300 and odd quid plus all the parts, I mean all the brakes and all the brake pads for this job cost me about 280 quid, and that's from Euro car parts of all places. They list the Chimaera for things like this. So for 300 quid plus my time and buying a tool that I didn't use, which was about 20 quid, I think that's a pretty good financial investment. Right, so I'm going to clean this, put the wheel on, and then I'm going to drive it up and down the drive to test it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, if it helped you, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, ding the bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.